A bald man is right. She wouldn't let us hoard supplies. When it comes to food shortage, who is the one who suffers? Someone else jumped in and said it right. Give us food, Sao. Mrs. Lin felt unwell in a hurry. Chenin. Rest assured. The neighborhood committee. We can take responsibility for this. Let everyone know. Supplies will not be missing. The snowstorm will pass quickly. It says so outside. Really? In her heart, Lam is constantly irritated with This boy deserves to die. I dare to challenge myself in front of so many people. I don't respect my nose. Then he pointed to Truong Yip, and Truong Yip. Don't mess with people right now. Your behavior is a violation of discipline. Turn around and gently wave your hand. ISO put that big hat on my head. I can't stand it. Don't worry, it's so cold outside. If you call, I won't go out. Mrs. Lam looked at the shadow of his back aesthetic. This kid doesn't know. The sky is thick. I have to figure out how to lock it up somewhere. It's only a few days. A few days later, Zhang Yi is sitting on the sofa comfortably playing snack games. Open the bag of chips RA. Put some pieces in your mouth and keep playing. No need to think about work and love. Life is more comfortable than before. When there's a lot of dust, suddenly your phone jumps up with an AI message. Send a message at this time. Open the phone, check it out on the apartment group. Mrs. Lam attached your name with the message I said. Before translation. It's all snowed out now. A little more. You bring the equipment down to help people scan. I eat ice cream and think. Remember your name in the group to get out. Revenge is fast. I thought about how to respond to the message. The first floor is now buried under the snowfall. At least another 3 months. The snow is not fast. By falling snow. The weather is so cold. If you go out for a while, you'll be frozen. Even if it's snowing, you have to wait for the snow to stop. Mrs. Lam trembled one hand to see the message. Give back the heater to warm up because of the cold. In the group, everyone also sent a message to tell Zhang Yi. That's right. It's minus 70 degrees out. When I was sure I'd been turned to stone. We're not in the Northeast either. There's basically no refrigeration. Go outside. What type? Mrs. Lam read that angry just now. No one dared to say anything. This fucking kid. They just opened their mouths and said. Mrs. Lin pressed repeatedly on the screen. Respond to people. What is the attitude? Snow is not for everyone. They're all healthy young men. When it's difficult, it's not proactive. Because the servants want to hide. Responsibility is okay. I use the name of the neighborhood committee. You have to go out and scan the snow. Now is a dangerous time. We have to come together. Whoever dares to lead the opposition is the opposition. Leader of the neighborhood committee. After the blizzard is over, it will be handled by the organization. Read something that I admire. Mrs. Lam's thick face. All the time relying on the power of the neighborhood committee. Stop giving orders. The rest is obviously. The rest of us were waiting for us to light a fire. Guilty of her. And I hide like an ostrich. I'm going to face you today. I told you, you don't stop texting in the group. If it was for everyone, the neighborhood committee, you should take the lead in sweeping the snow. There are so many people in our neighborhood. Why don't you just call us? Are we easy to bully? I didn't see her call either. The hordes and the rich Kia. Why? If you see them, you can't fight anymore. The rest of you are right. Speak for the voice of my heart. They are all looking for honest people. Why don't you go looking for the righteous and make a promise? Mrs. Lam is sweating profusely. In this neighborhood, AI without knowing it in the hands of the naked mode on the 6th floor. There are hundreds of people. Kia also has a relationship with High-Rise. Laughing Truong must have won the message Uncle back. Lam has such bravery. Then go and call the righteous ceiling with a promise to come down. Scan away cosmetic surgery. He was the first person to hit his door with a hammer. It's the proud Chen. I promised I'd be the first to touch you. Slowly pour fresh water into the glass. Any name is not a good thing. If I disgust you, then do it thoroughly. Mrs. Lin is now angry. Standing up, constantly swearing, silently. Terrible epidemic. When to point the name? They obviously don't want to be on the radio. If I don't do that, who wants to see you later? Somewhere else. The trench ceiling is leisurely lying on the sofa. Suddenly the phone rang. He had to check my phone. The weather is freezing to death. Who has time to find a job? On the group, Mrs. Lam reminded everyone. The sub-district is our home, sweeping the snow for everyone. Owner AI. If you have free time, bring your tools. Go out and scan the snow. Do not forget to put the name Tran Proud and promised how. The ceiling is finished. Immediately irritated recording sent to the outside group. If it's so cold, skin your head. If there is no disease, take it to the hospital. Let's go less crazy here. If you bother him again, he will kill you. I promise I didn't just laugh at the recording. Hugging his beautiful girlfriend. What does the snow have to do with me? I don't have to go to work. It doesn't feel good to be home all day holding a blanket. After sending to the promised group how they hugging girlfriend said, stupid children, all day holding the owner's money to make the wind rain. I thought I was the owner of the joke. Get it? It's thanks to parents and family money. I can be like USAO. If you want to scan quickly. You guys, you have to go out and earn money for food. After sweeping the snow, I am free to go out. The knife is. I didn't forget to take a picture of him, along with his girlfriend. I saw Chen's message and promised. Mrs. Lin was red-faced. It's all his fault. It's all a good thing that Zhang Yi did. I am not guilty of them either. At that time, the chicken is in the kitchen. Then Mrs. Lamb recorded to scold the epidemic. Boy, do you want to mess with me? They're not out sweeping the snow anymore. Are you satisfied? Are you guys locked up here? Take out the chicken and put the plate on the table. Disdainfully replied to Mrs. Let less oppress the weak and fear the stronger. People swear even farts dare not release. To find me is to find the feeling of existence SAO. When I finished, I changed my face. I immediately threatened Mrs. Lin and told her, I'm not easily bullied anymore. Dare to bite the bark reed. As a fool, be careful of your life. The powerful words made Mrs. Lin sit down. But your mouth is still muttering, you son of a bitch. Nerd, you're waiting for me. I'm not as ordinary as you. Whatever happens in the future, do it yourself. At this time, Zhang Yi's family. You are leisurely eating chicken on. He was knocked on the door to beat you. My son came out here for me. It wasn't very bloody. How dare I drag you out to talk? Let's see how this guy treats you. I don't see any movement. Angry and threatening. Now he's going to knock on the door and drag you out. You wait for me. I saw him banging on the door like that. Gently close the door. He pulled out a crossbow and opened the binoculars aimed at the ceiling itself. Who does it is not sure yet. Zhang Yi picked up his crossbow. Close one eye to see. At the feet of Chen. I laughed and thought stomach. You don't have to kill this guy right now. It's no fun to let you die so fast. The proud don't know. Something bad is about to happen to me. He stood in front of the room with a wooden stick. When he saw that he didn't come out, the turtle screamed. Hiding in the house? If I get in there, you're dead. The current operation launches RA very quickly. Through Kia's legs. Your feet are not steady. Dropped a wooden stick. Fell down a pain called aha. Then he trembled, hugging the leg just pierced by the arrow. Looking from the inside out, I saw the ceiling shaking back and forth with my legs. If you look painful, you feel satisfied. Speaking in the stomach. Very good effect. Directly through it. He put a bow on his shoulder and said, low temperature negative more than 70 degrees. The leg has a punctured wound. I'm sure that leg is broken. The pride is gone now. Wherever he goes, his blood falls. Wrinkle and think that if not dealt with in time. In the situation of coal scarcity. Infection is also of course, then you'll have to die in pain and cold. Chen's face looks bad. And he walked into the elevator with a stick, against the wall. He sweated his face and said, that kid did it. He just wanted to kill me. Il a fatto door open. He came out and picked up the phone. He said he had to find a therapist quickly. It's so cold that the wound is frozen. If this goes on forever, it's less than half an hour. The leg is broken. Ceiling call for the hospital. But the result is, sorry, the phone number you called is temporarily unreachable. Please call back. He turned it off and cursed. This weather, even if the hospital is working, the ambulance couldn't get there. He walked into the house. 6 to find something. They can reduce their wounds. Be serious, say no, and deal with it yourself. Hold your leg and say. Bear Moat sitting on the sofa. One hand holds the leg, one hand pulls to get Ra's name. The wound now seems to have hardened. He was relieved to say that he was lucky to be back. I don't need to inject drugs. And then he drew a line and threw the arrow full of blood. Yours on the floor. Put your hand on your forehead and say again. This guy will definitely kill you. Tran Shi proudly picked up the mobile phone into the apartment. Mention Truong's name translated into the message with the content. Don't beat you to death. Then my real name Chen will write backwards. He was not afraid to write back. What are you? You dare to tease me. I'm going to rip off your other leg. Mrs. Lam and Mr. Fong were in love after reading the message. Both of you are surprised and have the same question. That's Zhang Yi. Dare to face Chen. I can see that I injured his leg. Right now, Chen's younger brother also saw the message. He called him angrily and asked what he had to do. Pure ceiling perfectly boiling blood and quickly immediately roll to the end of the Cho Tao sub-district. Anyone who can fight goes and says. You have to kill that dog today. Although it's very harsh outside, like the names, Chen's men gathered very quickly at home. He came with all kinds of weapons. A first guy, the bald and it speaks. We'll get there immediately. The bastard who dared to touch you is bored. Stand up straight. He pointed his hand at them and said many words. My feet are about to get infected. I shot one with a crossbow. That son of a bitch lives in room 2401. Be careful not to let it sneak up. If you can kick the door, you will beat the turtle to death. The Kia, if you hear that, quickly go to Zhang Yi's place. Banging on the door and making bangs. Sprinkled teeth. He was holding a long and large knife in his hand. It looks very dangerous. And say open the door, dare to shoot our trench. You're done today and you still claim. This day next year is your anniversary. Go out and die. He frowned and continued. The snowstorm blocked the road. 10 guys, it took a lot of work to get here. It's useless to call for help now. He finished with his knife. Use strong force to stab the door of the epidemic room. As a result, the blade separates from the handle. And then spin and stab it in the back. The blade flew almost to touch the head of a hairdresser. He looked scared and his face was sweating. They're confused and a little nervous. This door is pure metal. It's so thick. How to knock on the door now? I was scared, but I didn't forget to say the irony. How many enemies do you have to fight to build a turtle shell? It's thicker than this wall. From the inside, the plague can be observed. They're using their power to knock on the door. He sighed, looking uneasy. They die and have to start again. He looked at the people outside his door. Via tablet, then you can't be stronger. You haven't eaten rice yet. The bald boy took another knife. Raise it to the side and raise your voice. What's hiding in a turtle shell? If you have the courage, get out. Zhang Yi heard that and walked to the water bath. Take a long hose and pump water in. You said the fire was so loud. Let me calm you down for free. After it's done, dilate the water pipe head. Fall out to the noise outside. One of them comes in front of the wire. I'm a little worried and surprised, but think that this is the trick that Zhang Yi used with Qin. I want to use the same trick twice. Dreaming in the middle of the day, just finished. It's releasing a stream of cold water to him. The people around you are both surprised and confused. Don't let them escape. You keep shooting the rest of them with water. They're pale and make very unsightly designs, then screaming coldly. Too cold. I'm dead and I'm begging you, please don't spray. Don't spray again after the epidemic stops. They all shivered and said, it's cold. To save lives and roll on the floor. People can't go and lie down. Because his pants were frozen, so I can't move anymore. Some people are lying around. He hugged his legs again. Sitting on the sofa. You sing and you think. They wanted to use a crossbow to teach them, but the water spray is still more secure and the effect is not bad. When the Kia are dead, back to the ceiling. People who don't wear shirts. Proud to ask them. Where's the dog you caught? Is it here yet? He saw that they seemed to quietly toss the blanket. He grumbled and demanded that someone come to explain to me, what's this all about? The guy in the middle is a bald guy. He replied with a trembling voice, Zhang Yi is a coward. The door doesn't know how thick. We beat all day and just peeled off a little paint. And then we got our spray hose. The cold can't stand. Really proud to hear that. I think in my stomach as I kick the door. That son of a bitch's door is as thick as a turtle's shell, but he broke his fingers in anger. Reassuring voice that no SAO. Whatever the iron turtle is, there's a loophole. Besides, I don't believe it can stay in the house forever. Not out. Then he told me to find you. You guys just wait nearby. As long as it goes out the door, beat me to death. The bald man replied that he was right. Wait for it to come out and we'll pull Ra's men to death. The blonde was too cold to sneeze. At the bottom, some people go to the snow to prepare for the trip. One who speaks, Uncle View, I couldn't see the ground for half a day. Just a few of us won't be able to scan them all. One person continued. To wipe out the snow of the subdistrict. It's like going outside. If you can't see the road, you have to do it. General, you can't just dig your way to the supermarket. Right, put your hand on your forehead. Breathe out all the way and say yes. It's snowing so fast. Without a bulldozer, snow can't be done. Everybody go back. Don't get cold. Standing from the balcony watching down. You wonder. Go back and chew something and go inside. Put it in the trash and think. I also seem to be aware. The power of man. Basic. It's impossible to deal with natural disasters like this. You sit down on the sofa, turn it on and listen to today's news. The news has information that. At this moment we turn our eyes to the sutra. The authorities are planning. Command us to launch a full-scale assault. Finally in this blizzard. According to the U.S. report, because there's no effective snowstorm has prevention, led to 200 million people in accidents. More than 1,000 people died. I hope everyone doesn't panic. Trust in the power of government. Listen to this, Zhang Yi, turn off TI-6. He took a long breath and thought. The size and duration of this blizzard cannot be calculated. According to theory, the outside world is optimistic. Please pick up the phone. I saw your message. She seemed interested and texted me. Have you all seen the news? Our country has the power. I can fight the snow this time. Don't stress, all problems will be solved. If in the house I need supplies, everyone who has the ability to do their best to help. After all, this snow will pass quickly. No need to hoard. I just finished reading your message. Then there's a message asking Han from the dance world. Do you have a translation? Raise your head to think. Send a message of interest. I'm trying to confirm whether I'm alive or not. And he said, I'm fine. The next message, yes, that's good. My house is out of food. I remember you buying a lot of stuff. Can you give me some? Come back and they will invite you to dinner. He grinned at her message. I wonder how quickly it burned. The new house has a mouse face. The last time I went to the supermarket was not the same. Pointe bought many things. 2 days ago, you wanted to reach out to me. He held up his phone and photographed the food on the table. It's a big, red lobster pond. Then sent to Lam Tainan with the words. He wants to invite me to dinner. Unfortunately, I ate it. Look at this. Lin Tainan was sent a message by Zhang Yi. It's annoying, she frowned and said. This epidemic. I plan to keep him as my spare tire. Now, his order is that I'm back in a row. Lin's friend sat next to her. I read the whole message and said, No, I don't see what virtues I have. This guy deserves to be single all his life. Then she took out her phone. Turned to another corner to send a message. The first thing she wrote was criticizing him. Why are you so stupid now that dancing isn't fun? Do you know how important the problem is? Zhang Yi smiled when he saw that. In my heart, I don't eat yours. Then answer someone. It's a lot of drama to sing a white face. Then she laughed and texted back. The snow can last for a few days. You're hungry for 2 meals. Until then, trick dance to hand. It's not a big word or a SAO. Not even a little of this stuff. I see you for dancing. My house is not real. Hold a can of fresh water to drink. Smiling contemptuously, he said, white with green tea. This combination is skillful. Then you rep the girl with just a single yes. She was furious at Zhang Yi's message. Scream out that. Half a day is also this attitude. What does he mean, Fuang? Incomprehensible dance turns to look. She came back to remind me that dancing. This movement is also real. I'm kind enough that you went to him to borrow some food. So cold again. The dance sounds so boring. She closed her eyes uncomfortably and said that the translation was AI. Him. Don't ever mention him in front of me again. The dancer's friend saw that and came to her and said. This translation is not smooth. Not you anymore. There are other shade or SAO. We can't go out now. Tell him to help out first. The dancer sighed. You also decided to call, she said softly to the man on the other side. This is Chu by SAO. I really have something to ask you. Not long after, a tall guy with red hair clasped up. To the place of love. Put something out and say, the dancer has brought it to you. Although it's a discount in the warehouse, but these I've chosen the most precious, that's the best. She looked at you and made a shy face. Say thank you and praise him. Chubai replied that no SAO. Because of you, I can do anything. When he was gone, the dancer's friend took the food and closed the door. Your face is different from this time. Angry and self-deprecating, thinking yes, a bear-like name like you would dare to have anything against me. The next life goes 3 days after dark. Hold a chicken thigh to your mouth. A phone holder, and you said the time is coming, and the drama is coming. Started suddenly the power went out. People in the sub-district started panicking and screaming. What happened to the power cut?